Hello, my name is Omar Lerma. I've been studying information technology for the last 4 years. So far, I have a network technician degree. I have an A+ certification in computer support. And this is the reason why I want to talk about anything that has to do with computers. Now, when it comes to computers, we all get upset mostly at slowness, when a computer becomes slow. Not when a computer has a hard drive that crashes and we lose all of our information. We actually get upset the most when we have a computer that's slow. This is the reason why I came up with 7 basic ways to make your computer become a little faster. Alright, so I'm going to start with number 1. Whenever you see your computer that becomes all slow, make sure to check your virus protection. Always run your antivirus to see if you can actually find a virus in it. And what you do is basically, this is something most people know, you're going to run a quick scan or a full scan. What I recommend is that you do a full scan because viruses can hide in certain places, and if you run the scan, the virus can start hiding all over the place. So make sure you run a full scan. Alright. Also, if you don't know how a virus behaves, make sure to contact a person that does know how it behaves, and just make sure you get rid of it, because that can really damage your computer and it can really make it slow. Alright, let's go move on to number 2. Clean your C drive. Cleaning your C drive just basically means cleaning any old folders or files that you might have in your computer. If you have a bunch of files in there that you haven't deleted in like a number of months and you don't use, make sure you delete them, because whenever you fetch another file, it's going to take you a lot longer to get to that file. And then another basic one, just to delete a folder, I created a folder here called blah blah blah, and all you do is right click it, delete it, hit yes, and also of course make sure that you empty your recycle bin. If you don't, then that file is going to hang in there in your hard drive. Alright, let's move on to number 3. This is going to be a common one. It's called disk defragmentation. This is a process where files are not contiguous in your hard drive. Your hard drive is basically a disk, and it's got little clusters in the hard drive. Clusters are basically spaces, and they have a preset amount, basically amount of memory. So if you have a file that you save into your computer, and that file is actually bigger than that cluster, then that cluster is going to not only save that file in that little cluster, it'll save the file in the cluster and then across the disk in another cluster. So what is that going to do? Just basically when you run the file, it'll take twice or maybe 3 times as long to get to that file. So to do disk defragmentation, you basically going to do start my computer, right click it, you can go to manage, and this is all done with XP. There's other ways to do it with either Windows Vista or 7. And then once you get to that, you go to disk defragmenter. What you want to do first is analyze it. Make sure that your computer looks to see if you have to defragment your computer or not. And if you do, it'll tell you. It'll just show a message here that says you have to defragment. As you can see, this one doesn't really want to tell you, that it should be. Files are really not that fragmented in this computer, so we don't have to run the disk defragmenter. All right, let's move on to number 4. Error checking. Error checking is basically an utility that's going to look into your hard drive, and it's going to look to see if those little clusters that I was talking about are actually damaged. When you save a file, you might actually, if one of those clusters is bad, you might actually not save the whole file in that hard drive. And then whenever you go in there and try to fetch it, when you try to open that file, you're going to have errors. And that's also going to make your computer slow. So to do that is basically you're going to right click on Start. You're going to go to what we call Windows Explorer. Right click on the C drive, which is basically the drive where we save most of our files. You're going to go to Properties. You're going to go to Tools. You're going to do is check Now. Now I'm not going to check for errors on C drive right now, because what it does take is for your computer to, you have to actually be out of your C drive. So if I schedule a drive here, I check, then it'll tell me that it's going to start. It'll give you a message. I'm going to cancel that, but it'll give you a message telling you that you have to get out of the C drive, restart your computer, and next time your computer restarts, it'll run the utility. All right. So that's how you check the hard drive, or any drive that you might want to check. All right. Let's go to number 5, msconfig. msconfig is basically an utility that you see sometimes when you download files from your computer, or when you use a disk to put information into your computer. All these programs, what they do is basically run there all the time, even when you start your computer, or even when you're not using it. You have these little programs running in your background, which is going to slow your computer. What you want to do is basically end this process over here. What that process does is basically you're going to have a few tabs. The tab that you're going to be dealing with is the startup tab. When you restart your computer, you usually show things like MSN Messenger popping up there, or any antivirus stuff that you might not need. And basically you go to the Start tab and you cancel that for it to start. So that way the next time your computer starts, you don't really have that program running in your background. All right, so see, it was actually still checking my drive there. Let's see, let's show you how to do msconfig. What you do here is Windows Run, and then you type msconfig. There's the utility that I was talking about. So over here, you do not want to mess with any other tabs except for the startup tab. And this is where you're going to show, where you're going to tell the computer to not start those programs. So say you have Windows Messenger over here. You're just going to uncheck it and hit OK. Once you hit OK, the next time your computer restarts, it won't load that program. All right. Let's move on to number 6. Adding random access memory, which they call RAM. RAM is basically memory on a memory stick, and the way to do that is basically open the computer. You're going to find anywhere between 1 to 4 slots for memory, and what you do is go on a website and buy whatever kind of random access memory your computer uses, buy it and stick it in one of those slots. That's actually the most popular way to make your computer faster. All right, so that'll be RAM access, random access memory. All right, let's move on to number 7. Number 7, switch computers here. So random 7 is actually for ReadyBoost. I don't know if any of you have heard of ReadyBoost. ReadyBoost is basically used with either Windows Vista or Windows 7. And what you do with that is basically you grab a flash memory jump drive, and you're actually going to use the memory of the flash drive so you can make your computer faster. It will show that, the drive, and what you want to do here is speed up my system. Right here you're going to dedicate the item to use ReadyBoost. And over here you're going to dedicate how many megabytes you're going to use from that flash drive for your computer to use. What they recommend is that you do at least 1.5 times random access memory in your computer. So say you have 512 megabytes of memory in your computer, you can do up to 1.5. I wouldn't use that in mine because this flash drive only has 2 gigabytes of RAM, and my computer, my laptop has 4 gigabytes of RAM, so I would need at least a 6 gigabyte flash memory for it to work. All right. All right. So those are the 7 basic ways to make your computer run faster. Let me just run them by you guys again. Let's use virus protection, clean your C drive, use disk defragmentation, error checking for your hard drive, msconfig, add random access memory, and use ReadyBoost if you have either Windows Vista or Windows 7. All right. Thank you very much for your attention.